Welcome back to cycling in Donegal. And since the last time I spoke to you, and actually since just about 2 days ago, spring seems to have crept up and surprised us all today. It's about 12 degrees, relatively calm and quite bright and sunny. And when that sun is out, it's actually quite warm, which makes for a great cycling day. And as I said, very unexpectedly, we seem to have been experiencing cold, wet, and actually last week frosty mornings and days. And winter seems to have been hanging on for grim death. So it's a really nice break, and hopefully the start of things to come again. My biggest fear today is that I'm out in my shorts and summer shoes, and I've dropped the heavier, warmer layers on top. So as I say, my biggest fear is I hope I haven't broken the weather by doing so today, because I'm off work again tomorrow, and I'm hoping for a second good day of weather tomorrow so that I can get into the mountains and do some hiking. So keep your fingers crossed. So as well as getting out on the bike today, I wanted to give everyone a bit of an update about what's been happening with my cycling and my Audax training. since the last time I spoke. Believe it or not, the day that I filmed my last cycling video was 8 weeks ago tomorrow, and since then I've only actually been out on the bike one time, bar today. So pretty much, apart from that one short ride, it was a 25k ride. This 35k ride today is my first spin for 8 weeks. So as you can imagine, that's put a bit of a dent in my training plans for the Audax. This day week, the 23rd of April, is the date of the Dark Ages 200, and that was supposed to be my return to Audax, and the first of the 4 events. And the first of the 4 events for my Super Randon Air Challenge. So needless to say, that's taken a bit of a dent now. On that last ride a couple of weeks ago and today, although I'm feeling better than I expected today, it's really obvious that not only has my weight gone up by about 3 kilos in that period of time, but my fitness is shot to hell, absolutely shot to hell completely, and it's hardly surprising. So what has kept me off the bike? A number of things. I will admit some of it has been laziness. There's no two ways about it. A little bit of it has been laziness, and a little bit of it has been struggling to get the motivation to get out after maybe a week or 2 of being off the bike. But on top of all of that, events have kind of conspired against me. It's been, gee, I don't know what way to describe it, but basically I have been sick 3 times in the last 8 weeks. The week after I recorded that last video, I had a really bad stomach bug. One of the worst I've had for many years. And I was sick for about 3, maybe 4 days with that, and it took me at least a week to recover afterwards. I was really tired, no energy, not sleeping well, still not eating well after it as well, and that really knocked me back for 2 weeks. I was just coming out the other side of that, and the weather took a turn for the worse. Slap bang in the middle of, geez, I can't even remember now when it was, it's that long ago, but there was a full week of winter returned with a vengeance. We had days of snow lying on the ground at times, heavy frosts, sub-zero temperatures down to -3, -4, -5, and it was just absolutely horrible. And while I can, and I have, talked myself into going out cycling in bad weather, in both wind and rain, I don't cycle when it's slippy. I have done it before on the mountain bike, and I have the bumps and bruises and grazes to show for it, so I really don't fancy coming off my road bike on an icy road. So that knocked me off for at least another week. Shortly after that then, I got sick for the second time. Connor very nicely brought home a horrible head cold from school, which he insisted on sharing with the rest of us in the house. And for about a week or so, I was sneezing, coughing, sore throat, tired, just basically, it wasn't full on man flu, but at times it felt like it. And just the last thing I wanted to do was ride my bike, and to be honest, I wasn't fit or able to ride my bike. All of that brought me up to the end of March, almost to the beginning of April, and that's where laziness struck, because I was just about recovered from that cold about a week or so before we were scheduled to go to Paris for 4 days, and just at the back of my head was, what's the point in going out and getting on the bike I'm going to be away for 4 days. I'm going to lose probably the most of another week, and there's no point starting now, maybe making myself sick again, and I really did not want to be sick for going to Paris. I'd been looking forward to that trip to Paris for quite a while. We haven't been there for 18 years, and it was the first time myself and Katrina went away without the boys, and actually left the boys at home on their own. So it was also, as I've mentioned already, I'm 50 in July, and instead of having a party this year, I decided that I would like to go away somewhere special, just the two of us, and that was Paris. So I did no cycling that week whatsoever, although when we were in Paris we did do an awful lot of walking. It was really, really good, but I had the legs completely walked off me. While we were away in Paris, though, I made a deal with myself, made a promise to myself that as a reward maybe for having such a good time when we were away, and for having done so little over the previous week and number of weeks before that, that I was going to be a different person coming back from Paris than what I was when I went out. So the day after, I was back out on the bike, and that was the short spin that I mentioned earlier. It was just 25k, nice and easy, from the house up to Stranorder and back down the main road and back home again. But that hour was an important hour, I felt. First of all, I really needed it. My legs were quite stiff and heavy and tired from all the walking that we'd done in Paris, so I needed to spin that out of the legs, and I also needed to spin out the previous 6 weeks or so of inactivity and lack of fitness. And I'll not say that that short ride wasn't very pretty and it wasn't very easy, but as I say, it was definitely very, very welcome. However, that next evening, or that very evening actually, and over the next couple of days, I could feel yet another cold coming on me. I don't know if it was just my system was run down from the previous couple of months, or whether it picked up something while away travelling either to France or on the way back from France, but I had a scratchy sore throat, a lot of tiredness, and bit of congestion in the head. Nothing too serious, thankfully, but it was enough just last week to keep me off the bike again. It was mostly cleared up, I suppose, by Thursday of last week, but to be honest, then on Friday night I just couldn't get motivated to go out after work. But listen, today is Sunday, and as you can see, I'm out on the bike, and I'm determined that this is me restarted my training program again. However, where does it go from here? What do I do next, and what have I decided? Well, a very small part of me would still like to go and do that 200k Audax next Sunday, a week today, but to be honest, that's totally unrealistic and could actually do more harm than good. I have nowhere near the fitness required for it. I think if I had another 4 weeks, I probably still wouldn't have the fitness required, and there's a lot of very difficult climbs on it, with the majority of them in the last 50 kilometers, which requires a lot of leg and a lot of mental strength, which I probably don't have. That 200k Audax was then supposed to be the springboard towards June, 6 weeks later, which was the coast to coast 600k. I've pretty much decided I'm not doing that now. I hate to say it, and I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out, but it's not really practical. It was always a stretch anyway even back in January, if I'd have got out and done all the training that I had planned to do and that I needed to do. But having pretty much lost all of February and March and part of April, I have lost pretty much 8 weeks, maybe 9 weeks of training. It's just not doable anymore. And I think if I tried it and failed and had to DNF that ride, it would probably make me give up cycling for the rest of the year and probably give up Audax altogether. So I've decided to scratch that and take that out of my plans. However, there's 2 other big rides that I had also scheduled in as part of that challenge for later on this year. The first of those is the Jimmy's 3 Counties 400, which is July, and then the Antrim 300, which is in September. Both of those rides are going to be longer than anything I've ever done before, and to be honest, are probably a big enough challenge for 2023. It doesn't get me the Super Randon Air Series that I've had my eyes set on for a while and that I had decided was going to be my challenge for this year. But what I'm hoping is that the training that I have to do for those 2 rides, and probably a 200, at least one 200 in between now and then, is going to be enough to build my fitness and give me the hunger for Audax that's going to carry me into 2024. And as things stand right now, that's my target then, is to complete the Super Randon Air Series in 2024. So the aim now for the rest of April is to get back into my habit again. Hopefully I've seen the last of these colds and flus, and definitely hope we've seen the last of winter. But with the time changing just 3 weeks ago, the evenings now are really clear and gives me the opportunity to make it easier to ride at night after work, and hopefully start to build up my distances for those evening spins. I'm hoping that by the end of April I'm back up and able to ride 80 kilometers in a single ride again, and then that'll springboard me into May, where I want to add as much distance as possible with the aim of riding an Audax 200 in June, and then being fit enough to ride the 400 in July. Coincidentally, that 400k ride in July comes, I think, on the 17th, which is just a few days after my birthday. So that'll still be a hell of a milestone to achieve, and one which I'm hoping to be very proud of. So that's an update from me. That's where things stand right at the moment. Hopefully you can come with me on the rest of my journey for the rest of the year and see me complete the first of the 200k's and then carry on to do that 400 as well. As always, thanks for clicking on the video, thanks for watching along, thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time. All the best. Bye bye.